Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at the brand new Kansept Loki, or however you say it. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but I almost did not take a chance on this one, and I'm so glad I decided to. I'm pretty sure it was my buddy Jared Knives Knives that said this reminds him of a budget Oz Machine Company Roosevelt, and I can definitely see that. They're very similar in overall size. You got the same handle. You got a little bit less belly, more versatile blade here, but both of those edges sit below the handle. So yeah, if you ever were wanting one of these but did not want to pay the super premium price, I think this could definitely be a good option. Some quick specs. You got an overall length of 6.83 inches long. It has a 2.94 inch. Some call it a modified Wharncliffe or a harpoon modified Wharncliffe. You can call it whatever you want. It's definitely a versatile blade. Not only do you have that low tip, but that edge, like I said, is sitting below the handle. So on a flat cutting surface, I can get the entire edge. If I want to do a rocking motion cut, sawing motion cut, then you can easily manipulate that tip into drag cuts, piercing. It should be good at just about any of your day-to-day EDC task. The designer on this one is Stephen Dunnock, and there's his maker's mark right there. Blade steel is CPM S35VN. Got a nice satin finish here. No jumps up top, but I didn't find it necessary. Got a blade hole for deployment. We'll discuss that later. You have an outstanding sharpening choil. Should be able to sharpen to where my fingernail is before it'll widen up. And you have decent geometry as well. This one has a decent height, flat grind, and it comes down to around 18 thousandths behind the edge. So as long as it has a nice and sharp edge bevel, it should perform fairly well. Let's find out. Yeah, this knife came stupid sharp. And one thing I'm noticing really quick is that I absolutely love these blade shapes, or especially this one, with the versatility of this one. And I love when those edges sit below the handle. See that on kitchen knives and stuff, but it makes a already versatile drop point even more versatile because of it being underneath there. This one I'm able to choke right up to that edge, so I don't have to worry about getting hung up in a choil area or anything. And I feel really locked in. Because of that forward choil area, I got a nice, comfortable four-finger grip with some left over. So it should fit large hands as well. XL hands probably not, but now we're testing the ergos. And once again, I'm choked right up to that edge. That way I can control my cuts. And it's comfortable as of right now. I'm bearing down. I'm starting to increase that pressure. As soon as you see me lift it up, I'm putting as much force as I can in it. It was comfortable for the most part. I did start to feel a little bit of that frag where it ends. There is a chamfer, but you know, when you're squeezing down really hard, you start to feel everything. And this is where I noticed how much bite this knife has. You can see me using that index finger grip. And like I always say, if I'm doing that at all, that means it has a really good edge. I'll swap probably back and forth. I try to do that as much as I can because the blisters are just getting so bad that that just gives me a little bit of relief from cutting in that pinch grip. And it doesn't really matter sometimes how comfortable the knife is when you already have a blister that's been there for a while. But yeah, that lower edge below the handle makes this so much easier. I know it's not going to be showing on this video because I'm at the edge of my cutting board, but I only had to do that. I was doing that just to give the middle section a break. That's why I've been doing it on that side. But so far, I have been truly impressed with this knife. And man, I wish I would have checked it out earlier. I know they dropped this design in like different variations a while back, and for some reason I passed on it, and I'm so glad this time I did decide to take a chance on it because it was a lot of fun to use and carry. And I have been carrying this thing non-stop. You know, of course, you know, I rotate because I got other knives I have to carry for review. And the Fireball's been in my right pocket pretty much every day, unless I have to carry two knives for review. And then this one has been taking up that other spot any chance it could. So excellent job here. And then that tip, look how easy I can control that tip. And it's a little scalpel. I had to do an extra one just because it was that smooth of a slice. Nothing got in its way. I mean, it's not the thinnest behind the edge. It's thin, but it's not like 13 thousandths or anything. But it performed so well. And I forgot how much I like S35VN. You know, it's a good steel. It's nothing, it doesn't wow me, but it's a good steel. So, love to hear y'all thoughts on this. Now let's take a look at the deployment of this knife. You have that thumb hole, which is accessible on both sides easily. My favorite means of deployment is the reverse flick. This thing has a very well-tuned detent, nice smooth action. I can thumb flick it if I like. I can slow roll it if I like. And of course, if I wanted to, I can grab that hole and do the spidey drop as well and do some drag cuts. It's riding on ceramic cage ball bearings with a ceramic detent ball, giving it a nice glassy smooth action. Now let's close it up and take a look at the handle area. Your hardware, you have a Torx T8 for your pivot. Unfortunately, Kansept does not like to use T8 for their body screws, so you have a T6. I really wish they would start using T8s. So you don't have to swap drivers and they're a lot less likely to strip on you. I love what's going on in this handle. Mine has a blue anodized titanium frame with this deep frag pattern that kind of fades off into like a faux bolster up here. It's nice and deep in there, offers a ton of traction for your grip. You have a blind screwed contoured mill tie pocket clip. This one's black washed. Tip up right hand carry only. And one thing I don't like is that this pocket clip is sitting on top of that frag texture and is definitely going to become a pocket destroyer after a while. You do have enough of a ramp underneath that clip for it to fit all my jeans. I don't have super thick lips on my seams of my jeans, but it sits fairly deep for being a milled titanium pocket clip. Holds it in there nicely. I love the tension on this. I just wish they would have given us a flat spot underneath this pocket clip. One thing I noticed while I was doing the cutting, the ergos on this thing for my hands are very nice, especially for flat scales. You can get all the way up to that edge if you need to control your cuts, do some fine, precise cutting. Like I said earlier, the frag texture definitely offers some grip. And it wasn't uncomfortable for the majority of the stuff I've done. Only time it became uncomfortable, and it was right up in this little area right here where I'm squeezing down when I started really pushing, because that handle's pushing back on me because I'm putting a lot of force into that wood. Other than that, I thought the handle was very comfortable, especially in the saber grip and the hammer grip. You can do the reverse gas station fighting grip. That one's pretty comfortable as well. And if you had to do this grip, it's comfortable also. This one has a black wash titanium backspacer to go with that pocket clip and hardware. It is flush. They have heavily skeletonized the inside of the titanium frame on the top and on the bottom to bring down the weight as much as possible. Bring the weight to 3.6 ounces. I think that is fantastic. The lockable on my knife is sitting around 30 to 40%. Access to the lock bar is fantastic. The show side comes down lower, and then look at this large chamfer you have on the lock side that comes up higher. It is very comfortable for me to get my thumb in there. One of the best I've seen in a while. No matter which way I disengage that, thumb's perfect. Nice solid lockup. Very tight lockup. Absolutely no play any direction. Hats off to Kansept. Now for some quick size comparisons, it's smaller than both the Ontario Rat 1 and 2, and it's smaller than the Spyderco Power 3, and it's just a hair smaller than the Hogue Ritter Mini RSK. And lastly, it's about identical in length to the Urban EDC F5.5 and the Civivi Mini Praxis. Alright, now for my nitpicks complaints. I really wish more companies, whenever they do their plunge grinds, would bring them all the way back, kind of like a Spyderco. That way, instead of having just that much of sharpening life, you have all this. It just makes a lot more sense in my opinion. It's not something I enjoy having to do myself. There's no lefty love. And for me, I think the biggest thing, I wish they would have had a flat spot underneath that pocket clip. But with all that said, I absolutely love this one. This has been my most carried Kansept knife ever. I love the size of it. I love the versatility of it. I like the look of it now. For some reason, the closed profile kind of had turned me off for a second, and I thought this was a huge knife for some reason. So I'm very glad I decided to review this one. And anybody else who picked up one of these, let us know what you think about yours down in the comments. Do you like it as much as I do? If you are interested in this one, I will have it linked down in the description. It will be an affiliate link, so if you want to help support what I do here on this channel, it helps me pay for my testing materials. I can't thank you enough. If not, no big deal. So that's going to wrap up today's video. If you enjoyed it, please slap a like on it. And if you're not already, consider hitting that subscribe button. We'd love to have you join us. And until next time, remember, keep those blades sharp, smile more, and pop.